the original concept really related to a father and a son and twins. I mean, a son and a daughter, and it was that relationship that was the core of the story. And it went through a lot of machinations before I even got to the first draft screenplay. Various characters changed shapes and sizes, and it isn't really until it evolved into what is close to what Star Wars now is that then I began to go back and deal with the stories that evolved to get us to that point, and that it's hard to say really where how it evolves into a piece, because you evolve it with various scenes and various moments, and when you're creating something like that, the story itself takes over and the characters take over, and they begin to tell the story apart from what you're doing, and you kind of go with it, and you have to go with it, and it sends you down some very funny paths. Then you have to figure out how to break that apart and put the puzzle back together so it makes sense and is cohesive. But that's the adventure of writing, is the fact that you're not sure where it's going to go. And I think it took a while. I mean, I worked on Star Wars for a couple of years before it evolved into what it is.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm just gonna give you my personal take on this whole Star Wars controversy. If a lot of you may not know that there's a lot of people online doing a commentary about Star Wars, and how like the die-hard Star Wars fans, the Star Wars fans like myself who like been watching Star Wars since the early 80s, like the original trilogy. The ones who like the Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. A lot of YouTubers are making videos about how pissed off they are about the new trilogy, and how they totally messed up the timeline, how they messed up the characters, and how they did the old characters wrong, and things of that nature. How they cut off Han Solo, and how Luke died and stuff like that. And I agree with a majority of what they're saying, because I'm a big sci-fi, big science fiction fan, and of course I love Star Wars. I got the original trilogy on DVD box set that I bought like a long time ago. So I'm a big fan of the whole Star Wars mythos, so to speak, and I can tell that when they made like the new Star Wars, like when they started off with the Force Awakens. To be honest, I really liked the Force Awakens. I liked it, but you can tell that they just rehashed like the New Hope, and they just rehashed it, because they replaced the Death Star with Star Killer Base. And Rey, she was like stranded on the desert planet, the same way Luke Skywalker was. What I'm saying? It was just like the beat by beat replay of the New Hope. And actually I liked Rogue One. I liked it. It was good. But when it came down to The Last Jedi, I hated it. They totally messed it up with The Last Jedi. And that was like the worst Star Wars movie I've ever seen. And it put a bitter taste in my mouth, and it did with a lot of people. And also, I didn't go see Solo. I still haven't seen Solo. And I made a video a while back about Solo being a flop. I didn't watch it. I don't want to spend my money on that. I still haven't seen it yet, because I was planning to buy the bootleg or wait till it comes on cable or something. But I still haven't got around seeing it. And but they totally when it comes down to science fiction, they totally messed it up with this whole politically correct SJW stuff, and they messed up Doctor Who, they messed up Star Trek. A lot of YouTubers like Geeks and Gamers, Nerdrotic, Mega Random 42, and even Dave Cullen from Computing Forever. They put out a lot of videos breaking down how like the far left wing politically correct ideology has destroyed science fiction, which it has. They totally messed up Doctor Who. You know, you know, you know what I'm saying? It's just what they doing is like they just taking like what was legendary in the past, that was iconic, that everybody loved, and they just polluting it with this PC stuff. I'm not against like women characters, but they just turning like traditional male roles into female roles, and women can do everything. They're flawless, and the term they use for it is called a Mary Sue, which is Mary Sue's kind of like a character, like a female character that has no flaws. And then she's perfect. What I'm saying? That's pretty much what Rey is in the new Star Wars trilogy. And I like I said, I agree with most YouTubers. And in my personal theory, my personal take on it, I think what they should do is like after the Rise of Skywalker, the new one that's coming out. After that, they just need to take a hiatus, just maybe like a decade or two. Don't make any more Star Wars movies at all. Just stop it. After the Rise of Skywalker, don't make any more. Well, I can't really say that because they're making a damn series, but The Mandalorian. But still, they just need to let go of Star Wars and just let it die down. And maybe the next generation they'll bring it back up without all this PC crap. But that's just my personal take on it. What I'm saying? I just want to give you my 2 cents. And if you love the Star Wars, the new Star Wars, fine. But I agree with a lot of people's criticisms that it's not as good as the original trilogy from the 80s. Yeah, that's all I had to say.